Good evening, and thank you for joining us at Awaz News. I'm Zara, and I will be taking you through big news across Canada.
It is shocking. Southwest Ontario community devastated after OPP officer killed in line of duty. Ontario pharmacies will soon be able to prescribe medications for 13 common ailments. Toronto is on track for one of its lowest pedestrian fatality totals in years. Is Vision Zero starting to work? From smart homes to connected cars, new tools of domestic abuse make escape harder. Holiday passengers arriving without bags as Toronto Pearson Airport luggage piles up. Unbelievable. Ontario town crystallized in ice following major winter storm. Canadian Army feeling squeeze of more demands, fewer soldiers. Nylanders OT goal gives Maple Leafs 5-4 win over Blues. King Charles salutes late Queen, public workers in speech.
Those were the headlines. Now let's jump to the details.
The mayor of Haldimand County says the community is grieving after an Ontario Provincial Police officer was killed in the line of duty near Hagersville on Tuesday. It was devastating to hear that one of our officers had been shot so violently. That is not something that we're used to at Haldimand County at all. We are a community of 48,000 people and we do not have this type of violence in our community. It is shocking, Shelley Ann Bentley told us Wednesday morning. Some passengers who have flown out of Toronto Pearson during the frantic holiday season say they've waited for their bags to show up at their destinations with a little communication on the status of their luggage. A phone, a smart home, a digitally connected car. These are the tools of digital domestic abuse that anti-violence experts say is on the rise. Methods that are sort of presented as advances in technology, whether it's a smart home or a smart car, are just another method of surveillance that can be used to harass survivors in a variety of different ways, said Amy Fitzgerald, Executive Director at BC Society of Transition Houses. Toronto is on track to see one of its lowest totals of pedestrian fatalities in more than a decade, providing a glimmer of hope that the tens of millions of dollars that have been poured into the city's Vision Zero strategy are starting to result in meaningful change. There have been a total of 50 people who have died in Toronto streets so far in 2022, including 22 pedestrians and 1 cyclist. Ontario pharmacists will soon be able to prescribe medications for a number of common ailments without the approval of a physician. As of January 1st, pharmacists across the province will be able to fill prescriptions on the spot without a doctor's appointment for 13 of the most common ailments. The 13 ailments include hay fever, oral thrush, dermatitis, pink eye, menstrual cramps, acid reflux, hemorrhoids, cold sores, insect bites and hives, tick bites, sprains and strains, and UTIs according to the Ministry of Health. The service will be free for Ontario health card holders. The head of the Canadian Army says his force is facing more demands at home and in Europe, even as the number of soldiers under his command continues to shrink. Lieutenant General Joe Paul says the squeeze is forcing the Army to take a closer look at some long-established assumptions and ways of doing things to see where it can be more efficient. A small town in Niagara region appears to be completely crystallized following the massive winter storm that swept throughout the province late last week, giving a new meaning to the town's name. Crystal Beach, a lakefront community in Fort Erie, Ontario, is now covered in ice from the roofs of their houses to the roofs of cars. The storm prompted Environment Canada to issue weather warnings for much of the province due to powerful winds and dumps of snow. Is hoping to appeal to the generous spirit of the holiday season as it faces a severe shortfall of blood products after several days of stormy weather across country. Severe wind, snow, and icy conditions British Columbia and most of eastern Canada starting late last week caused travel disruptions and road closures. Extreme cold across the prairies had people hunkering down at home and the region is now bracing for a messy mix of freezing rain and snow for the next several days. Currently, we have 3 or 4 days of several blood types, said Rick Prinzen, the agency's chief supply chain officer. King Charles evoked memories Sunday of his late mother, Queen Elizabeth, as he broadcast his first Christmas message as monarch in a speech that also paid tribute to the selfless dedication of Britain's public service workers, many of whom are in fight with the government over pay.
And I cannot thank you enough for the love and sympathy you have shown our whole family. Christmas is a particularly poignant time for all of us who have lost loved ones. We feel their absence at every familiar turn of the season and remember them in each cherished tradition. In the much-loved carol, O Little Town of Bethlehem, we sing of how in thy dark street shineth the everlasting light. My mother's belief in the power of that light was an essential part of her faith in God, but also her faith in people.
This was all from us today. I'm Zara, and I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same channel. Bye for now.